Let's slow things down for a moment and take a closer look at Pi Network, because what's happening here is bigger than just another digital currency story. For years, people have whispered, argued, debated, and wondered why Pi has become such a global obsession. And if you've ever asked yourself why Pi stands out from all the cryptocurrencies you've heard about, definitely not the only one. There's a reason millions of people are talking about it, defending it, criticizing it, and waiting for what could be one of the most dramatic moments in crypto history. At its core, Pi is a digital currency, yes, but it introduces something the world has never seen before. Instead of requiring powerful machines, expensive setups, or complicated technical knowledge, Pi took a completely different path. A path that opened the door for anyone, anywhere, with nothing more than a phone and a few seconds a day. No buzzing fans, no burning processors, no technical manuals. Just a simple tap on an app. That's it. A quiet, simple action that millions perform daily. And yet behind that simplicity lies one of the most energy-efficient mining processes the crypto world has ever witnessed. Launched in 2019 by Stanford graduates, Pi Network wasn't trying to create another exclusive club for experts. They wanted something far more ambitious. They envisioned a currency that was truly global. A currency for people who had never bought crypto before, people who had never mined anything, people from villages, cities, islands, and nations where financial access is limited or completely out of reach. Their mission was bold: create the world's most widely used, most inclusive digital currency. And honestly, no one expected what happened next. Instead of a tiny community of specialized miners, Pi grew into a movement. Millions began joining every day. People who had never even heard the word cryptocurrency suddenly became part of this massive experiment. Today, more than 60 million users worldwide call themselves pioneers. That scale is unheard of. It pushed Pi into the ranks of the fastest-growing digital projects on the planet. But with that growth came something else. A question, a fear, a doubt that has echoed for years that if Pi is so big, if the community is so strong, why can't people trade it freely? Why does it still feel like the world is waiting for something that never seems to arrive? That's where the story gets complicated. From the beginning, Pi worked inside an enclosed mainnet. No trading, no external transactions, no listing on exchanges. People could mine it, earn it, watch it grow in their balances, but they couldn't use it outside the ecosystem. For some, this slow, cautious approach made sense. Build security first. Verify identities to stop bots and fake accounts. Create a proper foundation before opening the floodgates. For others, it felt like an endless waiting game. 6 years of patience. 6 years of promises. 6 years of wondering if Pi would ever step into the world as a real, tradable cryptocurrency. That divide continues today. Some pioneers are still hopeful, excited, and believe that once Pi fully launches, the value could be life-changing. Others feel tired, frustrated, and left in the dark. And then something unexpected happened. Recent announcements shook the Pi ecosystem from the inside out. Not quietly, not slowly, but with a force that caught everyone's attention. A public campaign urging users to fight misinformation. The sudden reveal of a $100 million venture fund meant to support real Pi applications. And the biggest move of all, the Open Mainnet launch. A moment that cracked open the door the world had been waiting years to walk through. Pi could now connect to other blockchains. It could be traded. It could finally step into the open market. This wasn't just an update. It was an earthquake. The annual Pi event added even more fuel. Talk of improved KYC, a sharper roadmap, Pi domains, AI integrations. The message was clear. Pi was no longer just dreaming. It was starting to act. Yet with this new momentum came something the community had been avoiding for years. Tension. Real, raw, emotional tension between pioneers who felt victory was finally close and others who believed this was just another round of empty promises that longtime supporters were thrilled. At last, the future they dreamed was taking shape. The Open Mainnet looked like proof that everything they endured wasn't for nothing. They saw it as a massive step toward Pi becoming a real force in digital finance. These pioneers argued that revolutions take time. That history shows us anything truly transformative demands patience, risk, and resilience. But while some celebrated, others snapped. After years of commitment, many users wanted results, not more speeches. They wanted real utility, not another announcement promising future improvements. Their impatience wasn't just frustration. It was exhaustion. And for many, the breaking point came when the price of Pi IOU tokens dropped by over 30% after the venture fund announcement. For them, it was a sign that the market had lost confidence. The ecosystem felt empty. Those years of tapping, waiting, and hoping had produced very little they could actually use. The cracks in the community grew even wider with the global consensus value debate. Some claimed Pi should be worth more than $300,000 per coin. Others called this unrealistic and dangerous. The core team's insistence on shutting down misinformation felt, to some, like a direct attack on these high-value believers. Suddenly, pioneers weren't just disagreeing. They were fighting, arguing about Pi's future, splitting into groups. The unity that once defined Pi turned into a battlefield of opinions. Meanwhile, the Open Mainnet brought both excitement and new problems. Over 10 million users have already migrated their coins, with nearly 20 million completing KYC. But millions more remain stuck, waiting, watching others trade while they stay frozen in verification queues. The price of Pi IOUs surged, then crashed, exactly like new cryptocurrencies often do. Now, Pi's value sits in the hands of the open market, no longer protected, no longer insulated. For some, that's liberating. For others, terrifying. The core team's call for pioneers to fight misinformation became a turning point. Some viewed it as empowering, a way to protect the community from scammers and false narratives. Others believed it was a distraction, a way to shift responsibility away from the unresolved issues within the ecosystem. And then came the $100 million Pi Network Ventures Fund, a massive push to attract developers to finally build something meaningful with Pi. Games, tools, platforms, services. Pi has the users. Now it needs the apps to match. But critics fired back immediately. Why launch a new initiative when KYC and app issues still haven't been fixed? The market responded with a steep drop in Pi IOU prices, once again highlighting the fragile faith circulating within the community. The core team began teasing more features. Pi domains that could give users simple, memorable identities. AI integrations that could transform how Pi apps operate. But as exciting as these ideas are, they remain ideas. And ideas aren't enough for pioneers who feel like they've spent years chasing shadows. And now, looming just ahead, is a moment that could define Pi's fate forever.